Hey guys, Joshua David here. I just want you guys to be prepared for what's coming here um, in this world, and especially in the Western world. Actually, it's going to be all over the world. Part of Discerning the Times Ministries, I do a lot of research when it comes to um, everything that's happening when it pertains to Bible prophecy. And in the Bible, it talks about a loaf of bread costing a day's wage, and famine, and pestilence and all that kind of stuff. And that's what we're going to be dealing with here soon. I just wanted to go over a few things because I'm sure, even Joe Biden himself, Trudeau even talked about a food crisis and whatnot, right? So, um, but they're not really telling you everything at all, like at all. Because what we have here, there's things they're not putting on the mainstream media. Like for instance, in China, there are thousands and thousands upon thousands of ships that are at port not moving at all. Like just an absolute deadlock. Something of the sort that was happening in the United States, but 10 times worse. Which is going to affect a lot of different materials coming across everywhere. Um, also, China's buying up tons of land here in the United States, farming land, okay? And that's going to affect crops. Also, Russia and Ukraine, the fertilizer is being really affected to be able to be shipped here. That's going to affect crops. Um, they're manipulating weather so that's going to affect crops. There is multiple chicken farms, okay, that are being sabotaged. Now, I can't say that for a fact, but do you find it being a coincidence that over a dozen major, okay, not just little chicken farms, I'm talking major food supplying chicken organizations being lit on fire, um, just having different things happen to them all within a couple months recently, and as far back going as to a year, one full year. Okay. Now there's that all going on. There's Bill Gates, who owns tons of farmland, and we know where he stands. We know where he stood on the pandemic, and you can kind of just see those things happening. And really, that's like we're seeing things set up for the tribulation here, so we can expect things like this to pop up because we're seeing the tribulation being set up, or all the beginning, um, the beginning events that builds up to all these things that the Lord talks about in Matthew 24 in the book of Revelation, right? So I'm not surprised to see these things, but not everyone goes on YouTube and finds all these different videos and does research everywhere. And I kind of do, so I'm just putting it together here for you guys. And there's another aspect to this that I find really important. But anyways, so if we continue on, there's bird flu that can easily be spread, kind of like what happened to us with the pandemic, but to chickens, right? And it's spread everywhere. And they're shutting down major businesses for chicken. So you got that. You got affecting crops. You got climate change issues that are not all getting affected by humans in general, the people in charge doing that kind of stuff, but some are. Um, we have shortages, which is going to raise the prices on the stuff that we already have, and just everything that's happening with the war, which is going to ultimately grow, which is ultimately going to grow supply chains. We're seeing the things that are, right now we go to the grocery store and we're like, okay, they got everything there. There might be a shelf or two that doesn't have it. And we're a little shocked about the prices, but we're dealing with it, right? Well, I truly believe a lot of this has to do with the upcoming elections in the United States. I truly believe that the Democrats they don't have any chance in winning any one of those elections. All their policies go against any morals and values that anybody holds. Okay, and the reason why I talk about, I live in Canada, but the reason why I'm talking about America, because I believe that he's in Klaus Schwab's pocket, and he's one of the leaders of all this. And plus, they have to dismantle the USA to be able to bring in a one world government. Okay, so, but anyways, you know, all these different things put together, and then you have the Democrats who know that they cannot win. They can't win at all. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath for them. So do you think they're going to sit there and they're going to let this happen? No. They're too evil for that. Because if in fact the Republicans won, everything that Joe Biden did would be erased. Joe Biden would be impeached. Donald Trump would win in the next election. That's what would happen, right? That's common sense what would happen. There'd be investigation after investigation. There'd be firings. It would just be absolutely crazy. But we're not living in the times of redemption in that sense, right? Not political redemption. We're living in the times of demonic, inspired people who are bringing in destruction to every parts of our life to ultimately crash the world system, to ultimately bring in the Antichrist and a one world system, and ultimately the mark of the beast with the tribulation. Okay? That's what we're looking at. So we're looking at all these different angles everywhere, okay? And I'm sure I'm missing out on a few of them, but I'm just giving you the major ones that I see. That China one, they're locked down. There's countries in lockdown right now, but the port system is backed up for months. Like, it's huge. The Ukraine-Russia thing, how NATO is and Russia, that's the real war. Ukraine is just the catalyst. It's the Russia against NATO war that's happening. Russia's now saying, NATO, or United States, if you bring any more weapons in here, there's going to be consequences. But then on the meanwhile, Biden's saying we're gonna commit $800 million or $800 billion or whatever it is to the Ukrainian war. Well, they're just asking for it, but they want it, right? They want something big to happen. They want destruction, as much destruction as possible, so that they have something to blame all these issues on. Because if they're to blame, then people will stand up, because we're a democracy, right? So if they blatantly just take over everything, then we know that they're evil, right? Even though, people with discernment can see that they are. And we're going to stand up and do something about it. But no, they're going to blame it on Russia, just like they did the Putin gas hike or whatever they were calling it, and they're going to continuously blame these people for it. But what I think is going to happen, now check this out, I could be wrong, but I believe that the food shortages that are going to affect everybody, I believe the timing of that is going to be, and the war intensifying over in Russia, or maybe even somewhere else with NATO and Russia, somewhere else, and maybe China even getting involved, or maybe even China going against Taiwan. This is wars and rumors of wars. We have to understand that we're seeing these things happen. But anyways, all those things are going to be, in a sense, maybe not 100% climax, but at a climax during those elections. Why? Because I believe there's not going to be any elections. I believe it's going to be such utter chaos, and I don't know this, right? It's just a guess of mine, because I can see things leading up to that time frame. Okay, I just think that that's going to happen, that there's going to be no election there, and once that happens, chaos is going to ensue to a big point. You have to understand one thing when you're looking at this scenario. The Democrats cannot lose that election, because if they do, everything that they've done is for naught. The president doesn't run the country, okay? It's the House and the Senate that run the country, make the laws, and can have the real power, okay? Yes, the president can do all these executive orders and stuff, but ultimately they can all be shut down by the Senate and the House. The House spends the money. They can do investigation after investigation into whoever they like, and they cannot let the Republicans in. If they do, everything that the Democrats have done and all the schemes that they're pulling now, like pulling in immigrants from all over the world into the United States right now, that'll all get busted. All these things will come to the forefront and be stopped immediately, and investigation after investigation. They cannot do that. They're in too deep. This is why Biden is in. You have to understand, he's the fall guy. Excuse me. That's the only reason why Biden is in this office, because he's the fall guy. There's a group of people behind him who want destruction. Biden can care less. He just, he could care less. He'll make a couple $1 million on the side, him and his son and his brother and whoever else he can do. And he just got to go up there and lie every once in a while. You know what I mean? But he's the fall guy because everybody knows that he's corrupt. Everybody knows he's senile. Everybody knows that he has dementia. All these different things. So they can blame it on this old dude, old white male. You know what I mean? Let's blame it on him. That's their plan. I guarantee it. But these elections are really important. And I believe that there's going to be a major food crisis. I believe that the war is going to intensify over there at that time, or even somewhere else in the world, or maybe even NATO against Russia, full-fledged World War III. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying it could get there because they want destruction. Klaus Schwab and all his little buddies, they want a great reset. And the next stage is to get rid of our monetary system, which might happen around that time as well, and introducing a digital currency. Major global infrastructure, they need to demolish. Trade, for all food supplies, everything like that. They're going to have a social credit score that they're going to implement. They're going to have martial law once things go crazy around that time. And this is just my opinion, okay? I don't want everyone to say, you don't know this, because I don't know this. But the way I see things ramping up, right now I consider it a grace period. Things are relatively normal. Even people are saying we're back to normal because they want us to forget about what just happened the last 2 years, But it's coming back. That all the vaccine, all that kind of stuff, that's all coming back for sure. But anyways, these things I believe are about to happen. But what do? Nothing. We can say nothing. We can pray, right? We need to pray to the Lord. We need to stand together, right? But these things are going to happen. You can't stand up and fight physically as a Christian, right? And to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to, because, he who fights with the sword will die by the sword, for one. But number two, I want to go home. I want Jesus to come get us. I would like things to progress a little quicker, to be honest with you. And that's just me. I'm done with this world. 100%. It'd be great to have some time to get some more people to start believing in the Lord, but there's going to reach a certain point when people just ain't listening, and we're almost there, I've talked to so many people, and man, I've getting rejected, but there's still that blessing every once in a while, and I encourage everyone to continue right to the day that the Lord comes. But these prophecies will happen. Every word in the Bible will happen, and we're at that time now, right? So, but I do think, if you have a family, be prepared, get water, get food. I have a, deep freeze stored up full of food right now that I just bought, actually, because I actually did that 1.5 years ago. And just to make sure I had it because of the COVID situation, which is smart. I did because I used every single bit of it. But I did it again because I believe that we're going to wake up one morning and there's nothing going to be in the grocery stores. And I have 5 kids. I don't want to say, hey, I'm sorry, guys, but let's go fishing. That's probably what I'd say, right? But no, we're definitely prepared. I think you should have a little bit of gas. I believe you should have winter gear. I live in Canada. I definitely need winter gear, for your family members. And I believe you should have an RV just in case, And I'm not saying go and hide out, but I'm not going to sit in my house while all these things are happening, while people are roaming the streets, robbing people for food. Because don't kid yourself. The people of this earth are evil. And if they're hungry, they're going to get their food one way or another. And they're going to go to the streets to do it. So I live in a pretty decent home. The Lord has blessed me with a decent home. I live in a nice area, and this is probably where they're first going to come. I'm going to take my kids and we're going to have a place that I already know that I'm going, and And that's that. I'll make sure my family's safe, and I'll probably make sure that they're safe, and I'll probably come down here and do what I can, because that's when the Christians are really gonna be needed. When things are crazy. And things that people need to be calmed down, or you can help out where you can, or you can help out people who have been abused on the streets when utter chaos goes. That's going to be where the Christians are going to shine their light the most, I believe. We're not safe from persecution. That's coming to everybody, but we're not of this world, and we just need to trust in our Lord and keep going until the day He comes, and then it's just you wash your hands with it, right? And you let the Lord do the rest, and we come back in glory, man, and that's going to be the best day ever. But anyways, I just wanted to tell you guys the facts, and those are the facts. So God bless you. Hope you have a great evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, bye.